Today is a good day, everyone. We're going to be taking our very first look at the 2024 Kawasaki ZX-10R. Wow, what a bike this is to look at, honestly. First impressions of this bike for me are absolutely just mind blown. What a motorcycle this is. This is the performance spec edition. So you've got this Krapovic exhaust here, the slip-on, you've got this seat cowl as well, and this kind of like darkened windshield here. You do get the actual seat with the performance spec edition as well. It's not just the cowl that you get, so you can take your partner, your wife, your girlfriend on the back. But this bike is full, absolutely jam-packed with really modern techie features. Of course, a lot of them are oriented towards track day use and things like that, so we're going to be taking a look at all that today. And of course, a huge thank you to Completely Motorbikes in Gloucester for letting me have a go on this awesome motorcycle for you guys. Go and check them out if you're looking to buy a new motorcycle here in the UK. They've got dealerships all across the country, and I'm sure they'll do you a fantastic deal, so definitely go ahead and check them out. Right, but let's jump on and let's see how she sounds, because she sounds pretty sweet, to be honest, for a stock motorcycle. So quite subdued on idle, but here we go. Woo! She sounds awesome. What a bike, man. This is honestly one of the bikes I've been looking forward to the most ever since the dealership told me that they were getting one in for demo for this year. Ooh, couldn't wait, man. And this thing is jam-packed with techie features. Half the stuff I don't think I would ever use, but it's got a lot of track day goodies as well. If you're interested in doing track days on this bike, I mean, you should be pretty much fully kitted out and good to go. Now, naturally, of course, because this is a super sport, you've got somewhat uncomfortable ergonomics, but I won't say they are incredibly uncomfortable. It's not like as if you can't ride this bike at all for any lengthy period of time. You absolutely can. And you haven't got a lot of torque down low, but then as soon as you hit that mid-range, it shoots off like a rocket. Woo! This is one of those bikes where you're going to be doing 70 or 80 mile an hour at the top end of first gear just when you get to the power band. How crazy is that? Woo! Throttle response is lovely. When you're in the lower end RPMs, it's, you know, not quite so great. You haven't got that immediate delivery of torque, but that is pretty much what you'd expect for a modern day super sport of this caliber. All of the power is after 10,000 RPM. So this thing redlines at 14,000 RPM, could probably jump up to 14,500 RPM topping out. Yeah, man, as soon as you get to around 6,000 RPM or so, that's when this bike comes alive. And I miss riding one of these super sports. The last one that I had to go on, well, I owned it, was the CBR 600RR. I miss that bike. So getting this experience, having a go on this motorcycle is just brings back so many fond memories I have of the CBR, but of course this is packing a load more power. So whilst we're here, let's talk some specs. So the 2024 Kawasaki ZX-10R is producing about 214 horsepower at the crank, and that is right at the top end of the rev range, and it's producing about 112, 113 newton meters of torque, and it's peaking that at just under 12,000 RPM, I believe. So actually, not too bad. Not too bad. You do get a nice amount of torque between 6,000 and 12,000 RPM, which is awesome, absolutely great. And this bike weighs in just over 200 kilograms wet. I think it's 207 kilograms, something like that. which is super light Let's see what this bike's made of. Woo! Yeah, okay. That is a stupid amount of speed in first gear. So just like a lot of sport bikes, geared very long, you get a nice long wind out. You don't have to worry about changing gears so much. And of course, this bike has got a quick shifter. It's got everything. I mean, it's got some stuff here that I don't even know. I have no idea how to use it. This is such a new experience. The dashboard is pretty much the standard dashboard that you get from Kawasaki bikes these days, but it does have a really nice kind of a track day race special display that you can kind of customize and you can put onto the dashboard. It's wicked, man. But this dashboard functions pretty much exactly the same way as all of the other dashboards that Kawasaki now put on their bikes that has this TFT display, and it's a great dash. I mean, I have it on the ZX2 and I've got no issues with it whatsoever. It's really intuitive, and even though it's quite a lot of buttons, actually you don't have to spend ages trying to figure out what all the buttons do. I think it's got cruise control as well. It definitely has launch control, but it's also got this feature where it disables engine braking. I think this is all new to me. I don't know exactly what that's all about, but well, I'll tell you what, let's pull in here, let's turn it off, and let's see what that's all about, because I'm told that apparently it's quite a surreal experience. Alright, vehicle settings, yeah, KEBC. Alright, let's turn that off. And I wonder if it's worth going onto the rider mode. Now, I would normally go through all of the different modes to see how they feel, but oh, interesting. So it doesn't have a custom rider mode, not on that end anyway. Let's have a look at the other end here. No, interesting. I imagine you can customize all of this anyway. But let's have a look. That's the quick shifter. Oh, rider mode. Okay, so you have to turn that on in the settings. I see. Okay, so now, yeah, awesome. There we go. So you've got full power mode, medium power mode, low power mode, as you'd expect. Loads of traction control options. That is awesome. All right, so we've got traction control turned off as well. So let's see how fruity this motorcycle is to ride now. Oh yeah, man, this bike wants to wheelie. I'm just trying to see if I can figure out how the engine braking is supposed to work. Woo! Those brakes, man. Oh, they're amazing. Wow. Damn, they're strong brakes. Awesome. That surprised me how quickly those brakes bit just then. It wasn't the hardest kind of pull on the lever, but man, you can feel the stopping power of those brakes. I suppose that's the difference, isn't it, between kind of track day spec brakes and brakes that you normally have on a street bike. Interesting. I don't feel too much difference, but yeah, those brakes, wow. Damn, this bike sounds good as well. Woo! And it doesn't have a fuel gauge, but it does have a fuel light. Apparently that's quite a common thing these days on these top-end sport bikes. They don't have fuel gauges anymore, which is a little bit strange. But even so, I mean, what more do you want? By the way, these bikes are going for around about 18 grand, brand spanking new on the road. This edition, the performance spec model, I think is going for about 18,500, 19,000 pounds, brand new on the road. So this is a premium bike through and through. You're paying a lot of money for one of these things. Is it worth it? I suppose is the question we should be asking ourselves in today's video. If you want a thoroughbred sport bike that gives kind of like Honda's Fireblade a run for its money, then I mean, wow, this has got to be up there. Hopefully one day in the near future I'll get to have a go on their latest Fireblade, but this is really impressive. Yeah, interesting. I'm going to turn on that feature again regarding the engine braking and see if I feel any difference. Is it going to let me? Yes, it is. Awesome, even though I'm in first gear. Light. Yeah, I've got to do a bit more research on what that does. Oh, I think I get it. Okay. It kind of lowers the impact of the engine braking, so it's not quite so sudden. But yeah. Wow. Okay. I imagine that's so it encourages you to carry more speed into the corners, into the bends. That's great. Wow. What a bike, man. This is awesome. I mean, I don't think I mentioned this spec earlier, but it is, of course, a 998cc inline 4, as they have been for a long time now. I mean, I imagine if you're looking to buy a ZX-10R, then you're probably already familiar with the engine design. What a bike. I don't know what this green bar is here on the side. I'm not entirely sure what that means. But there's lots to fiddle around with on this motorcycle. There's so much rider customizability. Now we're about to do a little 0 to 60 run. What are our bets right now? What do we think? I mean, this has got to be, what, 2.8? Something like that on the spec sheet. It's got to be a ridiculous 0 to 60. I'm not the best at 0 to 60, so I'd expect this to be anywhere from 3 to 3.5 seconds, I think. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, you've got to be quite high up in the RPMs, I think, to get this bike off the line quickly. Would have been nice to have a little bit more torque. You know what I mean? I don't know, a little bit more torque down low. But all right, let's see if we have a little bit of room here as well, a little bit further up. And we'll do one more. We'll see if we can do it properly. If I start off at 6,000 RPM, and I know for a fact, well, I say I know for a fact, I don't know this because I haven't tried it, but I'm pretty sure this bike has got launch control, but we're not going to be using launch control today. All right. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, okay. Okay. It takes a little bit of skill to launch with this bike at its fullest potential. So just keep that in mind. This isn't like a beginner-friendly experience in that way. You really do have to give it revs to experience the bike at its fullest. And that is quite counterintuitive to most street riders like myself. I mean, rolling on the throttle is really lovely, but if I'm just here and I pull back on that throttle really hard, and you know, we're at 4,000 RPM here, it doesn't have a huge amount of torque. But if I do the same thing from 6,000 RPM, here we go, it's way more aggressive. Yeah, apologies for them pitiful 0 to 60 numbers. I mean, I don't know, they might be alright, but the launches didn't feel smooth whatsoever. And of course, I'm usually launching bikes from maybe 4,000 or 5,000 RPM. If you launch this bike from 8,000 RPM, then yeah, you're probably going to get the best time in terms of 0 to 60. But yeah, it's got to be around 3.5 seconds, depending on how skilled you are on the bike. Woo! This bike, it's all about that top end. Forget 6,000 RPM and under. You've got to be riding this bike over 6,000 RPM all the time to be making the most of it, honestly. That is wicked. Proper thoroughbred sport bike. Super sport, as you'd expect. My goodness, what an experience. And I think because I'm used to riding bikes like my ZX2 and my ZX-14 or ZR-1400, I miss that torque down low, you know? Just for that street kind of riding experience that I'm so used to. So it is a bit of a, you do have to change the way you ride ever so slightly to kind of get the most out of this bike for when you're using it on the street. Woo! Awesome bike, man. Absolutely love it. Would I take this over my ZH2? Not for me. I wouldn't. I would certainly own one of these, but I wouldn't exchange it for my ZH2. It's far more street friendly and you get such a good experience on that, whereas you need to have a lot of road to get that experience on this motorcycle, I think, if you're going to use it for street use. Primarily street use. I imagine most of you are going to be using it primarily for street use. However, if you're going to be track daying this thing, that's when this bike is going to come alive. That's when you're going to really be able to put it through its paces. And I try to push these bikes as much as I can, but during these reviews, but I don't think I've even got it up to 14,000 RPM yet. Because yeah, you're pretty much breaking all of the speed limits in the UK if you are going to go at 14,000+ RPM in first gear. What an experience, man. I mean, it's tough. I think if this is the kind of motorcycle you're looking for, where it's just 100% track focused, kind of like basically a race bike but for the street, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this. But there are better options out there, it must be said. There are better options out there when it comes to street riding, I will just say that. But if this is the kind of experience that you're looking for, I mean, Second to none. Oh, that little green bar is my throttle. Yeah, TH. The amount of throttle I'm putting on it. Oh, I see how far the throttles are open. 100% throttle. Oh, this is wicked. But I don't want to go down this road because it has an average speed check, so I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go back the way I came. Because who wants average speed checks when you're on a ZX-10R, for God's sake? Honestly. Just outrageous. Yeah, you can see I had wide open throttle there at under 6,000 RPM, and it wasn't mad. It gets mad when you're over 8K. Alright everyone, let's pull in here and let's finish off this video. Let's have a little listen to it one last time, shall we? What a lovely sounding bike. Honestly, just fantastic, man. What an experience this motorcycle is. But I do warn you that because you've got such a high rev ceiling on this bike, you are going to be tempted to use all of the revs on these kinds of roads, and it's tough, man. All right, I wouldn't. This thing, when you get over 10,000 RPM, it is truly scary, truly an advanced motorcycle. But what a bike it is, honestly. It's such an honor and a privilege to have had a go on a motorcycle of this caliber. And yeah, man, it blows you away. Absolutely blows you away. I mean, it would be interesting to try out one of these and compare it to one of the earlier generations to see how big the differences are. In terms of the performance, it's probably not going to feel too different, but the electronics package that you're going to be getting on this bike is world class. It's second to none. Honestly, you've got everything on this bike, absolutely everything you could ever need on a motorcycle, at least for track day use. But there you have it, everyone. Thank you ever so much for watching this one today. Go ahead and leave that like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any more of our motorcycle reviews going forward. And we'll catch you all in the next video, everyone. Take care. Ride safe.